All right, Freddie, it is almost the end of the year.
It's wild.
Yeah, I cannot believe it.
I'm stressed.
We released a lot of videos in 2019, and we kind of realized there's a lot that goes on behind cameras that y'all don't see. So Freddie and I sat down and we looked at all the videos we released in the past year.
Yeah.
And we chose our 5 favorite behind the scenes stories or factoids. And we are going to share them with you.
I'm so ready.
They're going to increasingly get silly or weird or funny.
Okay, so are we going from, is it a countdown, 5 to 1?
Oh!
Or 1 to 5?
I think it's 5 to 1.
Okay, cool. Okay, let's start with number 5.
Number 5. So a few months ago, Chantel and I released a video where we raised egg babies for a day. We raise eggs, we decorate them, we, took them out, we vlogged with them.
And the point of it was to just not break your egg.
Yeah, which we successfully made it through the video without breaking our final eggs. I broke probably 8 or 9 eggs before we even got through that video. I was in charge of getting the props that day. So I picked up the eggs and I was leaving my apartment holding this carton and I stumbled a little bit and the carton spilled out of my hands onto my driveway and 9 out of 12 just broke. But the thing about that though is as I was cleaning it up, I realized, I was like, why did I get white eggs? And breaking all those eggs is what made me realize I should get the brown eggs for me and Chantel.
Do brown eggs not? Oh, because you're brown.
Yeah. Eggs don't have a raise, so it really didn't matter what colored eggs I got. They're chickens. But when I went to the next store and they only had brown eggs, I was like, you know what? This works. This makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
So yeah, that's the 5th most silly BTS story.
Moment number 4.
Moment number 4.
Okay, so do you guys remember that booty shorts video that Kristen and I did where we went to Universal and shook our butts everywhere?
I remember.
Yeah.
I was a big fan.
That was fun. Basically, Kristen put in our group chat hey, who wants to be in this booty shorts video? And I responded, because I love a booty short.
You do.
And Devin also responded, but then it didn't end up working out with her schedule. Meanwhile, in the group chat, whoever doesn't want to do it usually just stays silent. Jen stayed silent.
Crickets.
Chantel crickets. That's just how it goes.
I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that one.
And so we're still working out the sort of order of operations of what this video will be. I feel like the main concern that Kristen had going into it was just wearing them out and about in public with strangers that she didn't know. We know pretty much everyone at BuzzFeed, so I was like, okay, why don't we go to a neighborhood pool or what about Universal? And then all of a sudden, McCrickets, Jen and Chantel pop in oh, Universal?
Universal Studios Hollywood?
Is that a part of the shoot now?
Right, the crickets started chirping.
Yes. Chantel ended up saying well, if you guys are going to Universal, and I'm like, Chantel, you haven't even been a part of this conversation. All of a sudden, you want to talk about Universal. So then Universal ended up working out because Kristen is a bad. And then Chantel's like, okay, I'll come shoot with you guys if you need a camera person. So that's why Chantel was the booty shorts shoot.
If it hadn't been Chantel doing that, it would have been me.
Yeah.
Because really what happened is Chantel and I were like, you're going to Universal? We want to go to Universal. She ended up doing a great job shooting,
she did
helpful.
Great.
And that's the thing, we jump on each other's shoots to help each other out all the time.
Yeah.
But sometimes we'll jump on even faster if you guys are going to Universal.
Exactly.
Number 3, our 3rd silliest, weirdest BTS story. So Kristen has a show called Empty Suitcase. Earlier this year, we posted an episode of Empty Suitcase where Kristen, Mike, Caitlin, and I traveled to Hawaii. It was a trip that happened, scheduling-wise, a little bit, nuts. We had dates planned for Hawaii, and they kind of were getting moved around. I had already bought tickets to go to a music festival called Coachella, which, if you don't know, is a very intense music festival. I was like, you know what, it'll be fine. I'm gonna go to Coachella, I'm gonna fly to Hawaii the next day. It's gonna be totally chill.
Oh, you do this to yourself.
I really do.
Often.
Yeah. I have a lot of faith that my body will not give up on me. And she does. And she did, because what ended up happening was, I went to Coachella, then the next day, I had an early flight to Hawaii. I woke up that morning and it was like I had been hit by a truck of illness. And so I was like, well, it's the Empty Suitcase show, we're going to Hawaii. We get on the plane, it's like a 6-hour plane ride from Los Angeles to Hawaii. And I fell asleep on the plane before we were boarded, before we had left. I woke up when we were landing. I was so sick. They had to write me out of the episode that day because we were supposed to film at dinner. And so Kristen, Mike, and Caitlin were like, Jen, you just go to bed. And so I go up to my hotel room, get into bed, and I pass out. And I wake up and I'm hungry, so I DoorDashed. And I was like, I want to get like Hawaiian food because I'm in Hawaii. Of course, right? Yeah. So I got this like big barbecue plate. And of course, like it gets delivered to the hotel. I don't know why I did this, but I was sick. And I just like I threw off my clothes and I was sitting on the hotel bed naked, eating barbecue, and like, just like my nose was running. And then at one point food fell off my fork and landed on my stomach. So I'm just like naked in this hotel bed with barbecue on my stomach. And I'm like, I'm in Hawaii. This is so beautiful. And like, I'm just this like disgusting, sick, naked, barbecue covered person. People were like texting me being like, I'm so jealous you're in Hawaii. And then I was there eating my like DoorDash, like Hawaii food, naked and crying. Like I was like, I'm so lucky.
I know, I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, what is our number 2 funny, silly BTS story, Fred? Hit me.
Ciao. We did a video a little bit ago where we aged ourselves 40 to 50 years. This was during the time that the filter that aged you was really popular on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
We were like, okay, so why don't we just like have a makeup artist come in and do prosthetics and age us for a video.
Yeah, make the app real life.
Exactly. I feel like we came up with this idea maybe on a Monday.
Yeah.
And shot on like a Wednesday or Thursday.
Which is a fast turnaround for a video that has a lot of moving parts because you need to hire makeup artists, you need to buy the props, you need to make sure that they can match skin tone, skin type, all of that stuff. Did you feel like that was enough time?
Should we cut to the video?
Roll the tape. This was a video that like required more time and a bigger budget than what we were able to give it.
Yes.
So what ended up happening was our makeup artists were under a lot of pressure because we could only give them 1 day.
Yeah.
And usually this thing takes several hours.
Yeah.
And then because budget was low, we couldn't afford to buy
like the good
prosthetics. So our makeup artists were under a time constraint and they were working with products that were just not up to the task.
So like, they started applying my prosthetics first and it wasn't adhering to my skin, especially like around my mouth and stuff.
Totally.
And so there's just like a lot of like jimmying and rigging and trying to figure out how we can make this work and look believable for you guys. All in all, Kristen and I, we pretty much got all of our prosthetics. She was in the chair for 6 hours.
Yeah.
I was in the chair for like 4.5. And then Chantel and Jen were supposed to have the second leg, but we ran out of time.
Yeah, I walked into that room and they were like, look at them. And I was like, oh! But it is a funny story now, just because like now we know.
Yeah.
And honestly, the response to the video was positive. Like people,
generally,
there were people who were like, like some people were like in the comments were like, that doesn't really, I'm not sure what you were going for there. But generally, people were nice about it.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
Yeah.
So Freddie, what was our number 1 silliest, funniest BTS story from 2019? And it's funny because
okay, so we can't really tell you which video this is, but we worked with external talent. We have been working with this external talent for weeks leading up to a video. There were conference calls, there were FaceTimes, there were emails, there was a lot happening, lots of prep.
Talk about, this is a Ladylike episode.
Yes.
These are the members of Ladylike.
We do the shoot, and you know how at the end of every shoot, we do like a little sign off, lady tested, lady blank. Honestly, we don't come up with our sign off beforehand. We usually do it in the moment, and we kind of like bounce ideas between each other and then decide on one and shoot it.
Yeah. So if there was an external talent here, the talent might be like, Freddie might say, telling behind the scenes stories. Then the external talent might say, lady tested. And then we would all say, lady told or lady approved. Yeah.
So when we were coming up with ideas, they were like, wait, what is this? And we were like, oh, it's our sign off. We explained it to that person the way we just explained it to you. And they were like, Ladylike. We were like, yeah. Or they were like, well, what's lady tested? we were like, well, because we're called Ladylike, we kind of just like do like a thing that like goes off of that, bounces off that. It sort of all comes full circle at the end, you know. And they were like, what? Ladylike? And we were like, yes. They were like, what the is Ladylike? We all just, well, we thought they were kidding. Mm-hmm. They were not kidding.
You'd shot with this person all day.
Mm-hmm. And been in contact with them for what felt like months.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, that's the name of our show. They were like, I thought this was BuzzFeed. We were like, it is BuzzFeed. Ladylike is a show underneath the umbrella of other BuzzFeed content. They were like, weird, okay.
And the funny thing is that you guys were filming.
We were filming.
So like, you have the footage of that happening.
We have the footage of it happening. And it will forever live in the archives of our hearts.
Yeah. Like, we don't want to put this person on blast. You know, they were great to work with. It's honestly, it'll keep you humble.
It will.
You know?
There you have it, folks.
Yeah.
That's
it's number one.
Number one most outrageous moment from 2019.
Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed hearing some of these little behind the scenes factoids, fun stories. It's honestly fun to revisit and talk about them.
Yeah.
If there are any other like videos that you would love some behind the scenes stories from, or if you want to see other members of Ladylike go through and talk about their experiences, let us know in the comments. Mm-hmm. And otherwise, you know, have a safe, happy new year. We'll see you all in 2020.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Mwah. Okay, so BTS.
BTS.
So what should our sign off be? Telling behind the scenes stories from 2019.
Lady tested.
Lady, what the is Ladylike?